All right, so it kind of feels crazy that this is wrapped up already. This was the fastest wrapping up of a Fresh Takes I've ever done.
And so far, this is the only one that does not have a movie attached to it.
Yeah, we're done. Outside of the extra episode that I'm doing for the hell of it, she's done. And from what I can all see, there's never going to be anything else to this unless it's a redo or whatever. Because like, there's a prequel that talks about the time that Korame and Akame were the capital, and then there's another one called Hanawaga Crush, where it's about a completely different character that meets Akame, I believe, after she just washes up on a shore in a different country. So it's vastly just different. I have all of them. You can see them. Those are the manga volumes right there, and that's the prequel and Hanawa up there. But yeah, so she's done. I have notes, but
Oh God.
before we get to it, and I'm realizing now that I actually didn't do the other one. At least I don't think I did. I didn't update it, but I know when they died, so that's not that big of a deal. Let's see here. Jaegers.
Oh yeah, we made a bingo call for them too.
We did. But I didn't write the names down, but I can tell you if they were close or not. But there we go. That one's up. And that one's up. All right, so we're going to go through this first. Let's go to share, and let's get this bad boy in there. All right. Hide. All right, so in the first round...
Boy, I hate it.
That was what it was. And again, I have a question mark because we don't know how long Boss lives for, because they openly admit in the episode that she shortened her lifespan because of the stuff with Sue. If we add the extra characters in...
I hate it.
Ooh.
In the first round of guesses. But, as I said earlier, when we get to the second round of guesses, it was only that. But if we're going to go to here, Stylish dies first.
Mm-hmm.
Then it is Bowles. Run does not die. Suryu dies second, or dies after Run. Or I'm sorry, it's Bowles.
After
You're
Bowles.
right. So then
Bowles,
Run doesn't
then
do it. Then Suryu.
Suryu.
Wave. So Mike, technically, if you take out the people that don't die, you had them in order. Because you got Bowles, then Suryu, then S-Death. For Masao, you had Run first, then Bowles, then Suryu, and S-Death, you had Korame after that. So, Mike, if you took out the people that didn't die, aced it.
Wow.
So...
I was not expecting that.
Yes. But, so, before I get into plot point by plot point here, just... impressions as a whole here, anime-wise...
On the whole, this show was great.
Yes.
There's kind of been a pattern with the series that we've seen so far. Like the one that I was the most positive on was Gurren Lagann, because Gurren Lagann is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Neon Genesis Evangelion was, well,
Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Yeah, it's a classic for a reason, but it was also kind of fun to take the piss out of it, like every now and then. Mm-hmm. This show, and especially the fight, like in this final episode, this is like the reason I watch anime. Like these the like this is like the style and the tone of a lot of the shows that I grew up watching. Mm-hmm. And while this obviously came out later, mm-hmm. like I think I don't think Toonami got it till like 2016.
Yeah, it was a little bit later.
But like it's still in that like early 2000s spirit.
Mm-hmm. Is that?
I honestly went into this not knowing anything except for like it's the same people that make Gurren. Like, oh, okay, I guess I'm watching it.
Well, it's not the same people.
Like, is it
I
like animation studio or?
No, it is not. If I said that on accident, I apologize. It's made by White Fox. I want to say I don't know if it made anything else.
Oh,
It
like
was
it's an
in the same
homage
spirit.
to it.
I'm not exactly sure. They definitely take some spirit from it because, again, Tatsumi and Bulat, point blank, are very much, in my opinion,
Simon
an
and,
homage to Simone and Kamina. But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like I went to this like not knowing anything.
Yeah.
And like I'm really glad I did. I actually enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, especially like the comedy and all that, just random out there.
Yeah.
But like I said, like once Tatsumi died, I'm like, okay, I'm here.
Yeah, and it's one of those things like you had absolutely no clue what was going on. Because I remember exactly when I asked you, I'm like, "Have you seen Akame get killed?" You're like, "Is that
Like
the
I
one
know
where they fight?"
little to nothing about
You're
it.
like,
So
"Is
yes,
that the
let me
one they
watch it.
fight with the scissors?" I'm like, "No, that's Kill la Kill."
Yeah, that's
which we will do later.
Which we will do at one point. There's no way in hell that is made. That one, if you might have gotten confused, that one is made by the exact same writer and director
okay.
as
Yeah.
as Curran.
Yeah, I was like always confused, and that's why.
And
I
then
never
it's made by the
watched.
studio that was basically the production baby of the studio that made Gurren Lagann. It's made by Trigger. So yeah. That is probably where the confusion came. Me, it might not be that much of a secret. As you can see past my baby tremor tusk here, I have the Ultimate Expanded Edition here. That is the most I will ever spend on a physical media for an anime. Love you, Aniplex!
I still have PTSD from them.
Yeah, but I really like mech animes. But if they are not mech animes, this is almost to a T what I want my anime to be. Like with special abilities, stuff like that, intense action, but not afraid to have just dumb humor at points.
This is why you're going to love Jujutsu Kaisen.
Exactly. That's what everyone has told me. Like my roommate is like, it is one of the most serious animes I've watched, and I have not laughed at something as hard as I've laughed at that in years. I'm like, is it a comedy? It's like, it's not even intentionally funny.
Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen's on my list. I see random moments of it.
Yeah, my roommate has been harping on me about it. I'm like, okay, cool. You're watching that if we go episode by episode with Arcane. And he goes, okay, as soon as we have a free weekend, we're doing that. I'm like, cool, we've got it, because he has not seen Arcane yet. But yeah, so we'll go through a little bit. S Death to her core, and they explained it later, she could not figure out that she was in love with Tatsumi. Couldn't figure out why she felt that way. Even thought he was weak because he died. That life-affirming rudeness that her dad put in her is even there in that moment. It's the first time she kind of doubts it. It's kind of weird that it took that to get that out of her. But I just like it. In the moment, she's like, why do I feel so weird? I'm like, come on. I understand you're a, what I want to say, stand-in for a Nazi, but like, come on. The thing I mentioned in the last episode review that it kind of blew my brain that I never noticed that they didn't do it was Akame using a trump card.
Yeah. Like once he did it, and like as I was like, I was like, oh my god, that's right.
She's never done it.
She's never done it till now.
They make a joke about it because she's like, there's only one drawback to the sword. I can't clean it properly because if I could cut myself. I'm like, oh, that's funny. She just never cleans her sword. Then I'm like, oh wait, what would happen if she cut herself with it? And then
it hit you.
I was like, that's one of the coolest Devil Trigger-esque anime things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That looked evil as shit.
And yet she still looked hot.
She did. It almost added to it.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird that I was like, she didn't lose anything from it. It just shows that 90s animation set a standard for what some guys wanted to see in women. I'm just gonna
fair
throw that out there. Just gonna, but
fair.
Yeah, I kind of said that before we watched it to you guys that it was the best fight in the anime. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah.
Yes.
It has the best choreography and it has the most emotion attached to it. So when you combine those two things, Yeah, the math checks out.
And the banging rock music that finally comes for only this one.
Yeah.
I was like, that's pretty great. And then someone finally did the thing that I was wondering if they were going to do when she gets that early cut in on S Death and she chops her own arm off so that the poison doesn't get to her heart. I was like, huh. They finally did that. I was kind of expecting the stylish sword output horse crap to come with an icicle later on, but it is what it is. I'm just gonna start asking opinion on a couple things because again, that was most of it. Were you guys irritated at the whole S Death dying with Tatsumi?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a bit.
That's one thing that irritated a lot of manga readers.
Well, it's only irritating because so much of like their relationship, like in the show, was played for laughs. That it's kind of hard to take that moment seriously.
Yeah.
Plus,
until
I'm
the end,
I'm still a little
where,
bitter
like,
about
when
my
Tatsumi
ship.
was like, if you were on our side, it probably would have been different.
It would have been. It's true. And it's one of the things where, again, they're never going to explore that. Like, again, I still need to read the prequel and the sequel, but I know for a fact that I've been told by people that they can't do, for some reason, they can't do the sequel novels because of how the show ended. And I know that some character outcomes are vastly different, but I'm like, okay, from what I understand, she's in a completely different land, so I don't know how that affects it, but it is what it is. So another one that I would assume came out for you guys out of nowhere was Leone and Honest.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. Honest trump card is he nopes someone else's Imperial arms.
Nullifies an Imperial arm.
With like that ring.
Yeah.
That is like a lot of bullshit.
And I do not know. Again, I have not read the last book, so I don't know how that happens. But I do know that she does pass away in the manga, so I know that still happens. But it is weird, in my opinion, and I'm wondering if they do it because it happens that way in the manga, because the series of events of how she gets to where she's going, I will admit, in my opinion, it's badass. Her healing factor gets taken away, and still after about 8 shots to the stomach, she still literally caves on.
Like she's like, yeah, like she was still fine hours after she got shot 8 times and her Imperial arm was broken. That's why I was like, wait, she's alive?
Yeah,
what?
and
I got confused.
I was just so confused with that whole scene.
Yeah, and I have to bring up another thing with Crow, where I because it was not mean, I didn't want to laugh, but the entire time he was just like, someone's got to kill on it. Someone's got to kill on it. So that all of a sudden when he's running and he felt the door break, or he saw the wall break, and I heard him go, and I'm just like, oh, you're not going to be happy after you see this. He breaks, and he dies. He's just like, damn it! It's one reason he thought I had to watch this show is because the story that we've written, he likes to kill off characters, so he thought that I was doing this as a punishment to him, making him watch the show. But I'm just like, no, I was just it's an anime that I really like, so I was letting you know. I have to. Okay, so again, we're going to kind of skip around a little, like just go through Leone's path. Did you feel it was weird, or were you upset, I should say, at they have the talk with Akame, and she kind of just basically tells Akame that she's going to die, and then they walk away because, again, I don't know if they know how to treat 8 gunshot wounds to the chest from a freaking point-blank flintlock pistol. And then she kind of just hangs out, sees that her city is okay and that her slums are good again, and then she dies back on the streets where she grew up.
Like,
I guess Sal go first. We don't cross over, but
I was out of all like the deaths, I'm actually sad about hers. How it was just like, oh yes, he's dead. Bye. There was no like meaning or anything. Like I was just confused the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm
Yeah.
kind of sad that like that's how she died. But
Yeah.
like awkward, no explanation or logic behind it.
Yeah. Mike.
Because I'm still confused
Oh,
how
sorry.
like her. I'm still
Our
confused how like her that honest Imperial arms work with the ring and it's just broke.
Yeah, I think it just she survived off of being angry, honestly. Like I think that's what it was, but yeah, and then she was just biding her time to try and see that everything was okay before she died. Basically, because I think her Imperial arms was just completely shut off and she didn't have the healing factor afterwards, but it's still showing that she's a badass. I believe that's what I was going for, but Mike.
I do like the fact that she at least got to see a positive change like from her actions before going out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does kind of suck how there was like no fanfare around her death, but at least she got to see like the fruits of her labor,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to everyone else who, while they went out in a blaze of glory, they didn't get to see their work.
Yeah. And going back
Okay.
to spoils, in that same exact conversation where I learned that Tatsumi died, this same exact friend of mine who, again, I love you, buddy, just like, yeah, then my favorite character, Leone, just dies in a back alley for no reason. I'm like,
Thanks,
buddy. Love you. But anyway, so next thing. Feelings on, and we'll Mike first. The Emperor being executed.
What a great sport.
Did you feel it was necessary?
The whole beheading and everything.
Well, just him be dying, period. I knew they were going to make a spectacle out of it either way, but
honestly, this is a tough one, because like on the one hand, like we know the kid's been manipulated all his life, so on the one hand, I kind of feel like I don't think it's fair necessarily that he has to die for the actions of the minister, but on the other hand, he's the emperor. He is responsible for his people, and if his people are dead, then he has to answer for that.
So
yeah, I kind of agree with what Mike said, but I'm like at first I was like you're gonna kill a kid.
That was part of what I was getting at. I was like, it's the fact that his age. I was like,
at the end, like that's just an innocent kid, just in a bad predicament in his life. Like he was just like not knowing that what he was doing was wrong. Till the very end when someone like kind of like bit slapped him, sense into it. But I'm kind of glad like he knew like what he did was wrong, and this like he has to pay the price. He like even though he was manipulated, unfortunately he chose to follow.
Yeah.
And do it. So it was kind of that like double-edged sword.
Yeah, I get that. We got to see a little bit of extra moments before it all cuts off. We got to see that Run is now the new, what exactly was the title again? Minister of Home Affairs, and I would assume Wave has something to do with the troops from there. So we got to see the two people that really cared from the Jaeger side actually
now doing like
around.
Changes.
Yeah, you get to see like doing stuff, which again, if you go by the manga, that is drastically different than how it changes, but that'll go into the changes episode. One thing that I was kind of like sad about, that I'll openly admit that got me, and even got me when I'm watching this, is when they're showing that just the unbelievably huge amount of riches that are being sent to Tatsumi's village.
Oh my god, that whole thing! I was like, oh my god, I don't know.
When the guy said like, "Oh, we'll welcome them back with welcome them back as heroes," like the first thing that came to my mind was Yeah, about that.
I was like, who's gonna tell them?
Yeah, and the thing is, they also don't know that Sayo and Iesu are dead
Yeah, like
either.
they don't know like all three of them
Oh,
died.
God,
You mentioned
that's
all
even
three of them.
worse.
That's
Yeah,
why I was like, oh my god, no.
they don't know a thing. And now, like what you see from the records at the end, which is kind of something that, well, no, we'll get to that last. But you get this another thing that made me happy, which is not in the manga at the very end, is you get to see Bull's family helping send out food to survivors and stuff like that. I was like,
That was nice.
That's
Yeah.
really sweet.
I like that.
Yeah, that Bull's family I like a lot because they're just trying to help, and that's what Bulls is always trying to do. And that you get that final you get the scene where one slight spoiler that I will give from the talk, and we're gonna have a what changes. Love talks with Tatsumi after he finds out that Mine is or that him and Mine are a couple. And then Love like borderline begs him to help him with Boss. And Boss hears him outside the door. So in the manga, right before he dies is when Boss actually finds out that he had feelings for her. In anime, she does not know, but I assume that she held it because, again, she has his goggles that she took off of the pike. Yeah. So there's just, and they never have a conversation about it in the manga, but she did know that he felt that way about her. So there was that little bit of a change. And before we get to the final scene, so did you guys feel it at all weird? And tell me what your thoughts were for at the final scene in the parade that they randomly, extremely well animated and detailed. Go ahead.
The 3 fucking girls, 1 pink, 1 yellow, and 1 purple. And I was like, is that an armors for like all the characters that motherfucking died?
I just gotta ask you guys, did anything in your memory come up in the entire show about them at all? Do you remember anything?
Very little, if anything. No.
Remember when I told you guys that a lot of people that don't like the show don't like it because it doesn't show a lot of dark stuff from the anime, from the manga?
Wait, are they
Oh.
So the ending of this, I can just tell you right now, has a lot of happy endings for characters that get some of the most heinous shit I've ever seen in my entire life committed to a page done to them. And they don't even mention what those girls' names are, which I had to remember because they're words you normally don't have in names. The little blue girl's name is Luna, the little pink-haired girl's name is Air, and the little yellow-haired girl's name is Fall. Remember in the very beginning, before I said I even got to the arc, before the stuff that got cut, there is an extra chapter that is like 30 pages long that is specifically about those 3 girls. That is just tacked on to the end of one of the books. Remember when I said there was one of the most heinous things I'd ever read in my entire life? It involves those 3 little girls.
Oh.
And then they just never mention them. And then they just put them at the end to go, hey, they're smiling, they're happy, and they're cheerful. And I was like, thank you. Because anyone that wanted that ending any other way is a sadist asshole, and I will fight you.
Okay, without even saying what this is, I am already imagining what the arc could be, and yeah, fuck you to anyone who wanted to
see.
Hey guys, did you know the Empire's evil? That's what it amounts to.
Like God, next week's gonna be interesting just to hear it.
Oh, you guys are gonna go through a roll, and I'm going to keep a tally at what you guys wish stayed in and what you were incredibly happy stayed out. And I can think off the top of my head, I think it's going to be 2 happy, or I should say 2 unhappy that it changed, and the rest is going to be an absolute shutout.
We shall see.
Yes.
Because, oh boy, when I got every time, I did not open or join that Reddit until after I'd watched it, because why would I have a point to? And then everyone said that show is garbage compared to the manga because they don't go into the detail about the stuff that matters. And then I'm looking and I'm reading and I'm like, what do you all think matters? I thought humanity sucked before, but I'm like, I understand the show is this story is not about people being happy, but
it's those stuff done to children. I don't want to know the specific stuff that is done to children. But
Exactly.
no.
And especially in animation, I will tell you right now, there's
a lot good reason why it wasn't animated.
Yeah. This is like Berserk, Rape Horse, and like Goblin Slayer levels of inappropriate.
Is it like going into like Goblin Slayer territory?
It is.
We don't talk about.
You never go full Goblin Slayer.
No, in Goblin Slayer,
especially when it's minor.
Yeah, they do it like, and to my knowledge, Goblin Slayer does it like the one time at the start to establish, hey man, goblins are evil. This guy don't like what goblins do to people. So he's going to go kill the goblins. Goblins are evil. In this one, it goes, hey guys, I don't know if you remember in that last panel that Night Raid is the good guys because they kill the bad guys. And we don't feel that the last person was a bad enough bad guy. So we're going to up the ante with this next one. Oh, so you're going to do a different type of crime. No. We're going to do it the same reason that one killed a person, but 1 billion times worse. Oh, but there's other types of crimes that like you could show an animation without getting a damn near X rating. No, we're not going to put that in though, because they never animate this to try and cut that stuff out. Like I said, love this anime. Man, cut 6 to 7 books out of that manga, or just change what that group, the Wild Hunt that Sayora does, and you had a great extra arc that probably would have been committed to an extra 16 episodes into this anime. Probably would have got another season, just saying. But it wasn't needed. But anyway, enough of that. That will be for next week, because there is some stuff that I cannot wait for you guys to complain that was not in the show. Oh, that's going to be a spicy episode, because there's going to be a couple where your heads explode and you give me a good chunk of "Are you fucking kidding me?" But and for good reason. Overall thoughts, all of that. It's I wanted to do something different to like where something like it's obviously good, but I could actually just make a game out of it. Like, I don't know how many more where I could make actual bets, like with the Deadpool and stuff like that. It just initially I was like, wait, hold on. Like, we could actually make something fun out of that. I was like, fun. We could make a game out of it. And I obviously didn't tell you guys. And I hate
that I came up with it in fucking one.
Yes. I didn't tell you guys I was going to do that at first, but it is what it is. And I'm thinking, again, Mike has been on 98% of like, I think I checked the other day, I think I have 148 videos that are currently up there. And I think 13 of them don't have Mike in it.
Yeah, I'm basically the co-founder of this.
Oh no, I take that back. There's probably like 40 because I forgot that the Ruby reviews are up on there. Anything that is not Ruby, Mike is in.
Basically.
Oh, yes.
And I appreciate it. And Sal has been with me with the Ruby stuff, and she'll be in a lot more stuff because I had a ton of fun. She's already agreed to another series that we're going to actively do after this.
I want more emotional damage from him.
Yes, but we will not say it, but I will tell you, it is the first one that I believe is only 1 core.
Yeah, this is like only 13 episodes, 1 OVA, and 2 movies.
But yeah, you guys will find out what that is. I don't have a clever clue. Well, Doll, I believe, could be kind of a clue to what it is, but that's all I'm going to say. But it is beautiful. I'll tell you some of the beautiful. I've not seen the show, but it is snippets I've seen. The most beautiful animation I've ever seen, and it is everything we've done here. Go 1 billion miles that way compared to what we're going to do with this one. It's the one that's just whole nother continent for what we've done in the past, which is good. And we would have done it is honestly what we were going to do before this one. But after I watched it, I'm like, I want to get this one out of my system, and then I'm good for picks for a while, because You said Kill la Kill, and I said it before. Darling in the Franxx are like the only two that I have left that I want to do, and then I honestly don't care afterwards. And those will be way the hell down the line. I don't care when they happen, and we'll do stuff in the meantime. But yeah, I'm happy I got to have you guys come along with this. I like that.
Thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
And I had fun.
Yes, and like I said,
thank you for the emotional damage.
No problem. Glad I got to.
I will find a way to get my revenge on you. Don't know how.
And hey, this is the third anime will have both watched. Will be the next one, and it won't. I don't know. Have a lot of sad character deaths in it. I don't think it does, but I don't know.
It's an anime.
I haven't seen it.
It's an anime. It has to have some.
Corey in the House is an anime. How long has it been since someone made that joke? Restart the clock.
Good Lord.
We were doing so well.
That was a core memory from the dark, deep recesses. I don't know what woke that up.
It's the boomer in you.
I was just about to say, I legit felt myself age 40 years because of that joke.
Sorry, he has to remind himself that he's a boomer once in a while.
I'm only 31, okay?
Boomer.
No. Just because I remember when I had to put my new TV on top of my grandparents' old TV because you physically couldn't move their old TV does not mean that I'm old. We had to use Channel 3, damn it, and I couldn't use the internet unless my parents weren't on the phone line. And my nephews don't believe me that stuff happens.
Oh, he's just confirmed that he's a boomer, you guys.
No. Shush. I am well seasoned, like a fine wine. Anyway, yeah, again, just thanks to it, because I want to try and do some videos on my own at some point, but I got to figure out how I want to do them. They'd likely be rant videos, but I'm happy that I have friends that are willing to commit to these little projects of mine.
Yes, and come up with great ideas like character death bingo cards.
Hey, if I could come up with other things, trust me, I will try it. I don't know if that just came to my head. I'm like, I'm going to invite friends and see if they could guess character deaths, but not tell them until one character randomly gets horrifically murdered in episode 6.
That's why mine died. I was like, you knew this whole time.
I didn't.
Not a warning or anything.
Nope. I'm like, once Shale bit the bucket, I was like, all right, now the fun starts. But, and like, again, with it, this is the first one where I was like, I want to read the manga. That kickstarted something in me. Like the next one is that I want to read, and I'm going to start picking them up. The perfect editions of Solier, which I've started to see more and more popping up, but they don't have them done because COVID killed that they're still coming out. But anyway, yeah, thanks again for doing this. We only got one episode left. And like when we did this like, I want to say that freaking Neon Genesis is only like on episode 18 of uploading. So that thing still got like another 13 episodes. We got a whole nother series done before the first one's halfway through uploading. I'm pretty okay with that. And we're probably going to have the other one done because it's only probably going to take like 4 recording sessions. But yeah. All right. So second to last time. Mike, go ahead.
You guys can find me on Twitter at CaptainK42. You can check out my quick thoughts on letterboxd.com/CoachK42. And you can find me in all the various Facebook groups just at my name. You can check out Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Twitter at Ren Pop Culture. Look for us on Podchaser and the Banana Meter. Listen to all of our podcasts on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. Need an escape? So do we.
All right, Amazon.
And you can find me on Twitter at Cable11028.
All right, and you can find me everywhere at Organoid0. And the next thing outside of that is, depending on how fast I can get it done, I plan on trying to start a monthly podcast. That the person that has done all my Twitch work, including this Akame rework of the logo there, is making logo and stuff for me now before I start it. So that might be started by the time this comes out. Maybe, but I'm giving myself a lot of time to get it going in the meantime. So hopefully. All right. For the last time when we come back just to talk about the differences, we will see you guys next time.